That's Aerosmith on Radio 3. Dude looks like a lady. It's just about 11:14 right now. I'm going to tell you about a method of getting from A to B, no matter what stands in your way. Leap over it, jump over it, clamber under it, or scale it. Be over 70 in Hong Kong. It doesn't matter what's in your way if you're walking down the street then. I want you to meet the Aussie parkour team, but what I want to do is say hello to their handler, Karen, first of all. How are you?
Hi Phil, good to see you.
I think I'm going to get you to explain this, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, these guys are great, and certainly they should be stunning people on the streets of Hong Kong in Central, Thames Choi and Causeway Bay, as well as MTR stations.
You can't give away too much here, can you?
No, but you've got to bump into them to feel what they're all about.
Right.
And they're here actually to launch the soon-to-be-open Elements at Kowloon Station shopping destination, which is owned by the MTRC. It's a funky new way of mobile advertising for them, never seen before in Asia.
So let me get this straight. Everybody heard about what you guys do in the opening scenes of the last James Bond movie, and now you're doing a shopping mall and a railway station. How the mighty... Good to meet you anyway. Who have we got here, Karen?
We've got Chippa, and we've got Sean, and we've actually also got Jesse, Joshua, Alex, and Alex here.
Who's taking the pictures?
And these guys' credits include Superman and Lord of the Rings trilogy,
right.
As well as Scooby-Doo. So Chippa, why don't you talk a little bit about why you're here and what you're doing for these guys?
We're here to promote Element Shopping Centre, as you said. What we do is parkour, but more specifically for these displays, we actually incorporate other aspects into it, so it becomes something quite unique.
What's the core skill that you all have? Are you acrobats? Are you athletes? What's the deal?
Well, yeah, athletes, which are practitioners of parkour, but we also do many other things such as circus, acrobatics, free running, breakdancing, which is something we incorporate into these shows. So these shows aren't purely parkour. What you see is a mixture of parkour movement.
And theatre?
Theatre, yes, definitely. It's got a theatrical element. So well, yeah, it's quite unique. Parkour's a bit different. It's something really, you can't really put it on a stage because of what it is, but you can take the movement from it and show people how we move.
Let's do bit by bit here. Tell us about parkour. Was I sort of on the way with the James Bond thing?
Yeah, well, parkour is moving from one place to another as quickly and as efficiently as possible. In the James Bond movie, he's doing that. He's trying to get away from this guy. He's trained himself up to such a high level that he can do things that normal people can't. He can jump gaps, he can jump onto walls, he can climb and jump in ways that other people can't without a lot of training, which is one element of parkour.
You know what he reminded me of? It sort of reminded me of some of the African martial arts systems where they copy animal movements. Is that what's brought into this?
The history of parkour is related to something called Hebertism, which was started by a French guy about 100 years ago, and he was quite inspired by the way the African people kept themselves fit, which incorporated a lot of quadrupedal movement and just training in nature. And he created a system of fitness that incorporated a philosophy. This was then taught to David Bell, who created parkour, by his father. And he modified it to his own ends, and parkour was created from it. So he took some of the movement from Hebertism, and he took the philosophy as well, which is what makes parkour unique, in that it's not just the movement, it's the application of philosophy.
I think it's very interesting when people will take what's around them to train and to get fit. Put very simply, not doing weights when you can do push-ups because somehow it uses more muscle groups and stuff. Just use what you have, and the street has suddenly become the gym or the arena.
Yes.
But what the only sort of slightly comedic element to this is all very well jumping over stuff, but you've got to make sure that there's something else to jump or bounce off to when you get over the other side.
Well, it's not a case of just running along. Oh, there's a wall, I'm going to jump over it.
No.
You might do that if your life depended on it, but we always test things. We always make it safe.
Leave it to the movies, huh?
Yeah, movies, even movies, they test it.
Don't do cranes, don't do this, if you listen, don't, absolutely.
Don't go copy the movies, that's the thing. You can watch a movie and see this guy do this stuff, but what you don't see is the preparation that he does beforehand.
Oftentimes when we're training, we'll go to a certain location and we'll scout the location, we'll train there. It's a bit different being here in Hong Kong, although we have been given the opportunity to scout some of the locations, to test surfaces, to test the obstacles, to make sure that we're not going to sustain any injuries doing what we're doing, which is an important element. you find oftentimes it's not entirely on the spot. You know, there's oftentimes a lot of planning that goes into it to ensure the safety.
Actually, people in Hong Kong, if you watch out, they will be free running in Central, so watch them on building ledges. And if anybody is around Central about 5:45 this afternoon, just hang around kind of Worldwide House and look up 30 feet in the air, because you're going to see the boys there, and they're going to be unfurling a big banner that says Elements opening soon at Kowloon Station.
But you know what's going to happen? Some government weasel will have not got the memo, and you'll get closed down.
It's okay, darling. It's going to be cool,
You got it
and
sorted.
we're sorted. So we expect to see you there too, and we may teach you a few tricks while you're there.
Okay, then tell us about your training regime. You've said you're pulling together several disciplines. You've got to have a day-to-day thing just to make this cohesive.
Yes, we all train by ourselves or as a group. So lots of training, lots of strength and conditioning, making sure our muscles are strong, our tendons are strong. Just preparing ourselves for what comes ahead. It's not a case of just doing it without thinking about it. You need to make sure your body is capable of handling the pressures we put on it.
Do you spend much time just doing straight down the line gym stuff?
No.
No?
No. The way I look at it, we apply the principles of exercise to our sport. So rather than lifting weights, we lift our body weight and we practice the techniques at the same time. So you'll find there's certain principles that a personal trainer will make you follow to get fit. We apply those same things.
You see, the nature of the movement itself is that it's very high impact, and therefore there's a lot of stress placed on the joints, and so we do an extremely large amount of conditioning and strength work to make sure that our joints can cope with it. Because if we didn't do that beforehand, then that's when injuries occur.
Sort of like what I was saying before. It's kind of like army on a route march stuff. If you're in the middle of a field, you haven't got machines and stuff. You've just got to use what's around you.
That's right.
Is that much more beneficial to your body than doing, say, weights?
Beneficial.
In practical sense, it can be, because lifting weights will get you good at lifting weights.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a crossover, but for what we do, it's climbing, running, jumping. They're the sort of things that most people need to do in their day-to-day life, move from one place to another.
The application of the strength goes on a broader range. If you lift weights, you get strong and you can do basic things, but when you do parkour, you train a whole different muscles. Like a lot of people from parkour will go into other elements and other things and have a lot of strength they didn't know because they've trained it from doing different things. But with weights, it just sort of develops you in one direction because you isolate more muscles.
Mentally too. Your brain is moving so quickly, which it wouldn't be if you were just doing weights, right? Is that a big difference if your mind is going at, Mach 2?
Well, see, the mental aspect of parkour is extremely important. One of the key elements is overcoming the fears, overcoming the mental barriers. Therefore, for somebody to do a large jump or to jump across and climb up a wall and whatnot, oftentimes it's just as much a mental process as it is a physical process. And in that aspect, it's different from a lot of other weight training.
Yeah, very, very different. Who put your team together?
Originally, it was Morgan Evans. He's the guy that's been in things like King Kong, Lord of the Rings. He's currently doing the second Narnia movie at the moment. He's came up with the name Trace Elements and pulled us all together for the first sort of. Well, we used to train a lot together, and then when the opportunity came along to do a performance, it was the guy that organised it. Between Morgan, Harley, another guy that is a part of it, and myself, we're the guys that sort of look after it, motivate everyone, keep it all moving forward. And the rest of the guys are all part of the team as
Have
well.
you got much TV coverage in Australia? I should think they've been pretty interested in you.
In Australia, parkour it still hasn't made it into the mainstream. There have been small radio interviews, newspaper clippings. When we go back, we'll be doing something for 60 Minutes, which will probably be our first real mainstream media coverage. So it's starting to pick up.
That'll be a real springboard. So you're going to get into the area of teaching, I guess.
We already are. Everyone here is a member of the Australian Parkour Association, which has been created to help promote and teach parkour within Australia. And we're already running classes in most of the major cities of Australia.
This will take off like tomorrow soon. I'm pretty sure of that. As soon as it, remember when extreme sports started, skateboarding, BMX. It took a while, but Zoom, everybody wanted to do it. So best of luck to you. She's looking like she wants to say something. But now she's changed her mind.
No. I just want everybody to come and see Trace Elements, and they're going to be at Central Station today at 1, 3 and 5,
Right.
and at Taikoo and Qingyi Station at the MTR over the weekend. And please come see us. We're going to be in Central at 5:45, and be surprised.
Okay, that sounds great. Website. Have you got a website?
Yes, it's traceelements.com.au, but between the trace and the elements there's a hyphen, so it's trace-elements.com.au.
Nice and easy. How long are you going to stick around in Hong Kong for?
Myself, I'll be heading back on Monday, but the other guys are staying for other periods of time to visit friends and do sightseeing and such things.
Excellent. Well, have a great time, and it's been a pleasure to meet you all.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And